Welcome to Elevate Alpha, the space where strength meets soul. And growth isn't about becoming harder, but becoming wiser. Today, we're talking about something that's quietly destroying your peace. Over-attachment to people, to outcomes, to the version of you that keeps sacrificing your own happiness just to keep the peace. Have you ever felt like you're drowning in someone else's emotions, while your own soul is quietly begging for peace? Like you're carrying a weight that isn't even yours, but you can't drop it because you're afraid that letting go means you're heartless. Let me tell you something important. Emotional detachment is not coldness. It's clarity. It's the space you create to breathe, to heal, and to come back to yourself. So let me ask you, have you been giving so much of your heart that there's nothing left for yourself? Do you feel guilty when you set boundaries, as if protecting your peace means you're selfish? Are you staying stuck in toxic cycles just because you're afraid of looking cold? If any of that hit home, then this video is your sign to wake up with compassion. Let's talk about how to emotionally detach without becoming a robot, without losing your warmth, your kindness, your humanity. The confusion between love and attachment. Most of us in the U.S. and across the world are raised with this silent, damaging message. If you love someone, you never leave them. But that's not love, that's emotional dependency. Love says, I want the best for you, even if it's not me. Attachment says, I can't live without you. And that mindset, this clinging, weighs heavy on our minds. It's why we stay in jobs that drain us, friendships that belittle us, relationships that slowly kill our spirit, because we confuse loyalty with suffering. And we think detachment means being cold, distant, or numb. But that's a lie, a very convincing one. What detachment really is. Here's the truth. Detachment is love with boundaries. It's giving without losing yourself, caring without overextending, being present without being consumed. Psychologists call this secure attachment. It means you can be emotionally connected, but not emotionally entangled. Think of it like this. If you hold sand too tightly in your fist, it slips through your fingers. But if you cup it gently in your hand, it stays. You're not meant to hold people or outcomes in a death grip. You're meant to flow with life, while still standing strong in your truth. The cost of staying emotionally over-attached. Let's be real. Over-attachment doesn't just affect relationships. It wrecks your health, your focus, your identity. You find yourself people-pleasing until you forget what you want. You say yes to avoid guilt, not because you mean it. You wake up every day feeling like you're living someone else's life. Is this really the version of you that your younger self dreamed of becoming? Because if not, why are you still choosing it? You weren't born to be a prisoner in your own routine. You weren't put on this earth to shrink for other people's comfort. Every second you give away your peace to avoid confrontation, you delay your growth. And I say this with love, that's not strength, that's survival. You deserve more than just survival. How to emotionally detach. So now let's talk solutions. Here are 5 practical, science-backed ways to emotionally detach while staying grounded, warm, and human. 1. Observe. Don't absorb. You are not a sponge. You don't have to soak up every emotion around you. According to emotional regulation research, mindfulness reduces emotional reactivity by activating the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain. So the next time someone's energy feels heavy, pause, breathe, ask, is this mine to carry? 2. Create emotional boundaries. Not just physical ones. Boundaries aren't walls. They're filters that protect your emotional energy. Start small. Practice saying things like, I understand you're upset, but I need space to think. I care about you, but I'm not in a place to talk about this right now. You don't owe constant access to anyone. 3. Journal what you feel, not just what you think. Detachment begins with self-awareness. Every night, ask yourself, what drained me today? What made me feel seen? Where did I abandon myself to keep peace? This builds emotional literacy, a key to healing, because you can't change what you don't understand. 4. Visualize the higher you. Close your eyes. Imagine the version of you who is confident, calm, and emotionally free. How does she walk into a room? How does he respond when triggered? This is neuroplasticity in action. Your brain reshaping itself based on thought patterns. The more you embody that version of you, the more real it becomes. 5. Learn to sit with discomfort, not escape it. Detachment often requires letting go without a new comfort to run to. No rebound, no distractions, just space. It hurts, but it's honest pain, not prolonged suffering. It's the kind of pain that purifies. Healing isn't always about feeling good. It's about finally being real. And realness is where your power lives. The real-life choice. I had a friend, let's call her Rachel. She stayed in a one-sided relationship for 7 years. Why? Because she was afraid that choosing herself meant abandoning him. But the truth, she had abandoned herself long before she even realized it. One night she sat in silence and whispered to herself, "If I keep waiting for him to change, I'll never grow." That night she left. It took courage, therapy, and months of rebuilding. But today she's thriving. And she's not cold, she's clear. She's not distant, she's whole. That's what emotional detachment gives you. Not distance from people, but closeness to yourself. Why Americans especially need this now. In the fast-paced culture of the US, we wear busyness like a badge. We overgive, overcommit, overexplain. And underneath it all, we feel overrun. But what if I told you that the most powerful act of rebellion in this world is choosing peace, not chasing, not proving, just being enough as you are? Because detachment isn't a shutdown, it's a rise up. It's the difference between reacting and responding, between falling apart and rising rooted. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to ask yourself one question. What am I still holding onto that's already letting go of me? Whatever that is, start releasing it, not in anger, not in bitterness, but in peace. Because your softness is not weakness. Your detachment is not coldness. Your healing is not selfish. You're not here to be anyone's emotional crutch. You're here to become whole and light the way for others to do the same. If this spoke to your soul, then share it with someone who needs it too. Subscribe not just to this channel, but to your own evolution. Because you're not alone, and you've got this.